Hi, Diane Bolden, executive coach and author of The Pinocchio Principle, Becoming a Real Leader. I just got back from a run and I wanted to share with you an experience that I had that I found kind of interesting and ultimately inspiring. I like to run on the canal, and it's springtime here in Arizona, and I don't know, maybe that's the season that ducks hatch. I don't know a whole lot about ducks, but I came upon a gaggle of ducklings with their mom, and they were swimming upstream in the canal, and they were so darn cute. I had to stop and take a picture, actually a video of them. And when I finished my run, I couldn't help but reflect on that. And I thought it was kind of funny that, you know, there they were just paddling like hell and not getting anywhere. And I couldn't help but think, gosh, you know, I felt that way so many times, and I bet you have too. Have you ever had one of those days where you just feel like nothing goes right, or despite your best attempts, things just kind of fall apart? I had a day like that not too long ago where I spent an entire day shooting video and take after take after take, and finally felt like I had something that was usable, only to find the next day that there was something wrong with the audio and I had to scrap all of it. And you know, days like that are really tough, but we all have them. So I wanted to share with you 3 tips to turn a bad day around into something you can actually leverage. And the first tip is to have a little bit of humor in situations. You know, I like to tell people that you got to learn to laugh at the things that happen to you, because your friends already do. Like the time I spilled an entire cup of coffee in my lap on my way to a client meeting. I had a hard time finding the humor in it at the time, but there's something about relating those stories to our friends that allows us to have a different perspective. And you know, if we can find that different perspective sooner rather than later, we can actually get the levity and the ability to pull ourselves out of the situation and see things objectively and find the answers that we need in order to bounce back. In fact, it's a measure of mental health that the amount of time that it takes for you to be able to laugh at something that happens to you, the shorter that is, the stronger your health. So that's my first tip. Learn to laugh at the things that happen to you. One of my favorite lines from a Bill Murray movie, Stripes, is "Lighten up, Francis." So I try to practice that myself. The second tip I want to share with you is that if you can reframe the experience so that you can find something in it that you can take that makes you stronger, it takes the sting away, and it also allows you to kind of turn a setback into a springboard. So yeah, I was frustrated that I had that whole day of not getting any video, but I thought about it and I realized, you know, there were a lot of things I probably would have done differently the next time. And I was able to kind of reflect on that and learn from my mistakes. And heck, you know what? I need practice. We all need practice doing things. So if you can recognize what you were able to gain from an experience, even if it went haywire, that you can apply to the next time around, you're that much better for it. So my third tip is to learn how to move forward in spite of what just happened. One of my favorite sayings is, "So what, now what?" And you know, it may seem trivial, but if you think about how much time we spend kind of replaying events in our head and getting frustrated and feeling as though we're at the mercy of our circumstances, and if only this would have gone differently or that person would have done something better, everything would be fine. And it's amazing how much energy we tend to put into that could really be redirected in order to help us kind of move forward and find solutions and just take whatever has happened as a given and go on in spite of it. So those are my 3 tips, and I was able to actually apply them in my video scenario. And what ended up happening, I did have to scrap all those videos, but you know what? I just went right back at it the next day, and I found that I was able to do those retakes in half the amount of time. And because I had had the opportunity to reflect on what happened the day before, I realized I was clinging too tightly to my scripts. I just needed to relax a little bit and relate more to the camera, and so it ended up going more quickly. I felt like I was able to access much more wisdom that I could share with the people who will be watching that video. And you know what? It was a lot more fun. So I encourage you to do that. That's my tip for today. This is Diane Bolden signing off and encouraging you, if you like this video, please share it with your friends. And pop on over to my website, dianebolden.com, and subscribe to receive tips in the future. Also, if you're interested in changing the way that you work so that you can bounce back from things quicker, that you can reframe the events and circumstances that lead you to feel stressed out and overwhelmed into something that you can really utilize so that you can move forward in a stronger and more progressive way, in a way that actually ends up making you feel better about the work that you do rather than kind of sucking the life out of you, I have a program that you might be interested in. It's a 4-week online course called The Integrated Leader's Guide to Freedom and Flow. Registration is closing soon and spaces are limited. So if you're interested, I encourage you to check out the link below that will tell you all about the program and register soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I encourage you all to do whatever you can to lead better and live brighter.